was a bit late today, 10 minutes late. Okay, sorry. Think you are waiting. Okay, good morning. Now, the weights of 1500 ball bearings are normally distributed with a mean of 635 grams. Okay, and standard deviation of 1.36 grams. This is the question. Going to continue the problems yesterday. That is, we were some have forgotten. I think we were solving problems in sampling theory. Okay. Now, this also old question. All are old question paper problem. I am solving one by one according to the topics. Okay, so that it will be easy for you. The weights of 1,500 ball bearings are normally distributed. See, they are given normally, so you have to think of normal distribution with a mean of 635 grams and standard deviation of 1.36 grams. If 300 random samples of size 36 are drawn from this population, see, if 300 random samples of size 36 are drawn from this population, determine the expected mean and standard deviation of the sampling distribution of means if sampling is done. Determine the expected mean and standard deviation of the sampling distribution of means if sampling is done. So there are two options here. First sub question is with replacement, without replacement. So you know very clearly, last session also I discussed with replacement means what, without replacement means what. 3 3 or 7 3 3 7, that is without 7 3 is there, 3 7 is also there, it is replacement. With replacement 7 3 is there, 3 7 can't be written, then it is without replacement. This type of thing, so you know that. Now first here, see, weights of 1500 ball. So the population 1500 is the big population. So n equals 1500 with a mean of 635 grams. So mu equals 635 and standard deviation of 1.36. So 1.36 standard deviation. Okay. Then it is given, see, 36 are drawn. If 300 random samples of size 36 are drawn, size, so n equals 36. See how everything is given in the problem, you have to judge which is what. So size, n is the size, sample size and all that. So expected mean, just read the notes what I have given before in this particular topic, then you will understand more. So expected mean mu x bar is equal to mu, that is equal to 635. Expected mean mu x bar is equal to mu, that is equal to 635. Why? Because see, in sampling, first topic I have given, whenever they give a normal distribution, mu of x bar is equal to mu. So expected mean mu of x bar is equal to mu equals 635. That is expectation, because already the mean is there, 635, and that will be the expectation. So mu x bar is equal to mu equals 635. Expected standard deviation sigma x bar is equal to square root of sigma squared by n. Formula is there. So square root and square get cancelled. So it will be sigma by root n. Sigma is 1.36 by root n. That is root 36, that is 6. You will get this value. Use the calculator, see whether I am correct. I might be wrong also sometimes. Okay. Now we go to B. Okay. So here, that is B is without replacement. Okay. The question is mean and standard deviation. So we found out. So now we go to without replacement. Without replacement, the formula changes. We have seen in the previous problem. Just see the problem I solved in the next class. For without replacement, the formula changes. So expected mean mu of x bar is equal to mu equals 635. Okay. Expected mean mu of x bar is equal to mu equals 635. Expected mean mu of x bar is equal to mu equals 635. Expected variance sigma x bar squared. See, the formula for B is without replacement. So for formula without replacement, sigma x bar squared, expected variance, it changes. So that is, if it is sigma, it is standard deviation. If it is square is there, it is variance. Same thing, square root will come, that's all. So sigma squared by n minus n divided by n minus 1. This you know, already I have given in the last session, just see that. Now substitute all the values. Sigma is 1.36, n is 36, 1500 minus 36 by 1500 minus 1. The problem will be very simple here, but only selecting the correct formula and selecting the correct data. That is the main issue here. So this will be 0.05. Sigma x bar squared is equal to 0.05. Sigma x bar squared is equal to 0.05. Thus, sigma x bar is equal to square root of 0.05. Sigma x bar will be equal to square root of 0.05, that is 0.224. Sigma x bar is equal to square root of 0.05, that is equal to 0.224. Okay, I hope you followed. So this way, this is the method for this type of problems. Okay, now we'll go to another problem which is based on normal probability distribution, because there are some assumptions here. It's a very important, it's a old question paper problem. Not only that, it's a very important problem. Many concepts arises here. See, certain tubes manufactured by a company, you have to read the problem very carefully. You have to read the statement very carefully. See, certain tubes manufactured by a company have mean lifetime of 800 hours. Okay, 800 hours, whatever. Certain tubes manufactured by a company, tubes means might be tires, whatever, cycle tubes or car tube, whatever. Certain tubes manufactured by a company have a mean life of 800 hours, have a mean lifetime of 800 hours. Okay, and standard deviation of 60 hours. So certain tubes manufactured by a company have mean lifetime of 800 hours and standard deviation of 60 hours. Find the probability that a random sample of 16 tubes, taken from the group, so taken from the population, taken from the group, will have a mean lifetime. See, this we have to use the normal distribution table. Remember the last module, in that we used a table between Z and all that. I'll come to it later. Between 790 hours and 810 hours, less than 785 hours, more than 820 hours, between 770 hours and 830 hours. Okay. So again I repeat, see, certain tubes manufactured by a company have mean lifetime of 800 hours and standard deviation of 60 hours. Find the probability that a random sample of 16 tubes taken from the group will have a mean lifetime between, first sub question, 790 hours and 810 hours. Second sub question, less than 785 hours. Third sub question, more than 820 hours. And the fourth sub question, between 770 hours and 830 hours. Okay, now we have to select the data. The main thing comes here, I told you, selecting the data, understanding the problem, and you have to judge which formula to use. That is the main thing here. So you can see by data, mu is 800. See, mean lifetime of 800 hours, mu is 800. Standard deviation of 60 hours, sigma is 60 hours. Then a random sample of 16 tubes, the size of the random sample taken, n is nothing but the sample size. N is the sample size here. That is the number of elements, number of, here in this particular problem it is tubes. So find the probability that a random sample of 16 tubes taken. So n equals 16. Okay. So we can find here sigma x bar. So sigma x bar is equal to sigma by root n. Sigma x bar is equal to sigma by root n. Sigma is 60, root n. N is how much? 16. So root of 16 is 4. So sigma x bar is 15. Then remember what I had done in the previous module. Standard, normal, variate. To use the table, because it is in between. Here the question is between. It is not exact. Between. In between the two, we have to use the normal table, bell-shaped curve, and just judge how to do it. Recall that, what you have studied in the previous module. Okay. It will be just like a revision for you. So we have Z is equal to standard, normal, variate, x bar minus mu divided by sigma x bar. Here you have to take the new standard deviation. X bar minus mu divided by sigma x bar, because we are finding for the latest value. So x bar minus mu is 800. Okay. Sigma x bar is 15. We are finding for this new value, this new standard deviation, the hours, how much hours we require. So we take x bar minus mu 800, but sigma x bar we take as 15. Okay, now what happens? First is between 790 hours and 810 hours. So first is between 790 hours and 810 hours. Okay. So it will be to find the probability between 790 less than x bar less than 8 mean. See, you have taken x bar here, mean 810 hours. See, I hope you followed. Now we are going back to module 4. You have studied. So If x bar is 790, what will be the value of z? We substitute here. We put the value, you can recall, same thing what you have done in module 4 in normal distribution. So we put the value of x bar as 790 here. We find the value of z. We will get the value of z as minus 0.67. Just calculate and see. I might be wrong. I'm telling you again and again. Then again, another value is 810. I put here x bar as 810. 810 minus 800 divided by 15. I'll get z as 0.67. This I got from 1. We'll use this one equation, standard normal variate z. Okay. Now the given problem can be changed to P when x bar is 790, z value is minus 0.67. So minus 0.67 less than z, less than, that is 0.67, minus 0.67 less than z, less than what? Minus 0.67. Okay. So minus 0.67 less than z, less than 0.67. You get like this. This is from the module 4 what you got, the table. I have just given explanation here. Somewhere I have given it here. Yes. This will be 2 times. This will be 2 times because see, the curve goes like this bell-shaped curve. Minus 6.7 to plus 6.7 plus 0.67. So always when calculating, we are not using the negative side. I told when I did module 4 in normal distribution, we are not using the negative sign and they are symmetric. So 0 to z equals 0 to 0.67, z equals 0 to minus 0.67. So this minus 0.67 is not just the image of 0 to 0.67. So it will be 2 times. Just see that module 4 from module 4. So any doubt, please ask me later. 2 times P of 0 less than z less than 0.67. This is the concept of module 4 normal distribution. And this will be equal to phi of 0.67. And this value will be given in the table, or the value will be given in the problem, or they will give you the table. You know, I have sent you one table. Just see that normal distribution table. So from that, we have tried this value. Highest value we have tried, phi of 0.67. So probability density function, so 2 into 0. This is from the table, so you get 0.497. So the final answer, the probability, that is between 790 hours and 810 hours, P of 790 less than x bar less than 810 is 4972. It is 4972. Okay. Now next is question is B, second sub question, less than 780. Now you got idea, I think. See, less than, the mean is less than 785 hours. We'll have a mean lifetime less than 785 hours. Question is, so to find probability of x bar less than 785 hours, to find the probability, that is P of x bar less than 785 hours, P of x bar less than 785 hours. Okay. Okay. Now as usual, we substitute this x bar value and find the standard normal variate set from here, from equation 1. From here, equation 1, we put the x bar value is 785. So if x bar is 785, if x bar is 785, we substitute here. If x bar is 785, what will be the value of z? So 785 minus 800 by 15, that you will get as z as minus 1. Just see whether I am correct. I have written here everything from 1. So the given problem changes to P of z less than minus 1. The given problem changes to P of z less than minus 1. Here I have just explained for you. See, P of z less than minus 1. Less than minus 1, that is this side. So negative is considered as positive. They are just mirror images, they are symmetric. So P of z less than minus 1 is same as considering P of z less than minus 1 is same as considering P of z less than minus 1 is same as considering P of z greater than 1. You just draw the diagram and see. P of z less than minus 1 is same as considering P of z greater than 1. So, okay, P of z greater than 1, they are mirror images. I have told again and again, we are not considering negative. So P of z greater than 1 means all these shaded portions. So how to calculate? I have drawn a diagram for your understanding. Exam you need not draw. How to calculate that? So P of z greater than 1, everything greater than 0, everything in the positive, minus P of z 0 to 1 will give you P of z greater than 1. Very simple logic. Just look at the graph. So P of z greater than 1, that shaded portion will be nothing but how to calculate P of z greater than 0. In that, if you remove P of z in between 0 and 1, you will certainly get P of z greater than 1. So the graph is a normal distribution curve, bell-shaped curve. Below that, the area is 1. Complete area is 1. Complete, below both sides, the area is 1. But here, P of Z greater than 0 means it is one side, positive side. So the area will be half. Half of 1, that is 0.5. If it is Z of minus 0, less than 0 also, 0.5, like that. Complete area is 1, half of that is 0.5. And P of 0 less than Z less than 1 is nothing but phi of 1. From the table, the value will be given in the exam, or table will be given in the exam. I have given you one table in the WhatsApp, in the group. Please see that table and check whether the answer is correct. Phi of 1 is equal to 0.5 minus 0.3413. 0.5 minus, see the table and see whether the value is correct. Get this value. So we write the final answer. The probability of the mean life less than 785 hours is 0.1587. Okay. Next is C. The third sub question is more than 820 hours. The probability is more than 820 hours. The probability is more than 820 hours. Okay. To find P of the mean life greater than 820 hours, probability of the mean life greater than 820 hours, probability of X bar greater than 820. So first we check what will happen to the standard normal variate Z, or the Z value, when X bar is 820. When X bar is 820, what will be the Z value? So substitute in equation 1, I get an 1. Put the X bar value, that is X bar value is 820. 820 minus 800 is 20. 20 by 15. Okay, 20 by 15, that is, I think, somewhere, I might be correct, just check it. Z equals 1.33. From 1 I have written here. So very self-understanding, you can understand it. Now, so P of X bar greater than 120 is same as P of Z greater than 1.33. It is same as P of Z greater than 1.33. So just like this, P of Z greater than 1.33, same logic, just like this. P of Z greater than 1.33 means P of Z greater than 0 minus P of 0 less than Z less than 1.33, same thing. P of Z greater than 0 minus P of 0 less than Z less than 1.33. Okay, but P of Z greater than 0, it is nothing but it is one side of the curve. It is nothing but it is what? One side of the curve. It is nothing but P of Z greater than 0 is it is one side of the curve. Okay, so it is 0.5. The area under the curve, total area is 1. P of Z greater than 0, you can see the curve here. P of Z greater than 0 means positive side, so it is 0.5. Minus, here we take the biggest value, that is phi of 1.33. So 0.5 minus phi of 1.33 is nothing but from the table it is 0.4082. On table I have sent you. From that table it is 0.4082. So when you subtract, you get 0.0918. So P of X bar, we write the original value. P of X bar greater than 820 is equal to 0.0918. So it is equal to 0.0918. Okay. Now the last sub question is to find the probability of the mean life between 770 hours and 830 hours. Now you might have got idea, same type it is. That is to find P of 770 less than mean life, that is average X bar less than 830. P of 770 less than X bar less than 830. So we find out when X bar is 770 and when X bar is 830, what is the value of Z from equation 1? 1 is here. See 1. Here 1. So when X bar is 770 minus 800 by 15. When X bar is 830 minus 100 by 15, like that. So we substitute here the values. You will get when X bar is 770, Z as minus 2. When X bar is 770, you will get Z as minus 2. And when X bar is 830, you get Z as 2. When X bar is 770, you will get Z as minus 2. And when X bar is 830, you will get Z as 2. That is from equation 1. So now we write it in terms of Z. So the problem will be P of minus 2 less than Z less than 2. P of minus 2 less than Z, because 770 means Z is minus 2. So minus 2 less than Z less than 2. This is again here. See, I have drawn a diagram for your understanding. So minus 2 less than Z less than plus this in between this. So they are nothing but images. We don't take the negative value. We take only positive value. This 0 to minus 2, the area is same as 0 to 2. 0 to minus 2, the area is same as. So want to be drawn here. See 0 to minus 2 if we take here, see, 1 minute. See, if we take here 0 to minus 2 is same as twice this value, that is 0 to 2. They both are same area because the curve is symmetric. So minus 2 to plus 2 can be written as 2 times p of z 0 less than z less than 2 times. So for that reason it's written like that. Okay, it's very clear, self-understanding. Okay, you have to understand little bit module 4 in that, something about normal distributions. Okay, it's very simple. Okay, now 2 times we wrote this, then 2 times here we write the highest value, that is phi of 2. Highest value, that is phi of 2. Okay, when you write that phi of 2, and phi of 2 value you can find out from the table, that is the normal distribution table. Phi of 2 you can find out the value, you will get as 0.4772. You will get the value as 0.4772. You will get the value as 0.4772 from the table, normal distribution table. I have sent you in the group. Please see that. In the exam, you need not take the table. They will give the values or they will give the table. So you will get 0.9544. So the probability P of 770 less than X bar less than 80 is, that is the mean life of the tire or the tube. Between 770 hours and 830 hours is 0.9544. The question 0.9544. That is, question is find the probability for a sample random sample of 16 tubes taken from the group will have a mean lifetime of mean lifetime between 770 hours and 830 hours is 0.944. Okay, this much problem I solved in the basic of sampling and all that. Now we go to the problems on the next topic, that is test of significance of proportions. Test of significance of proportions. Next topic, test of significance of proportions. All of you just see that topic. I have given the formula connected there. Last session I have discussed. I have given all the formulas connected with test of significance of proportions. So here hypothesis term comes, what they have assumed like that. We have to see whether the hypothesis is correct or whether it is accepted or whether it is rejected. See, the question is again a question paper problem. A coin is tossed 1000 times and head turns up 540 times. A coin is tossed 1000 times and head turns up 540 times. Decide on the hypothesis. See, decide on the assumption. Decide on the hypothesis that the coin is unbiased. So they have given one hypothesis. The coin is unbiased. We have to decide whether it has to be accepted or whether it is rejected. A coin is tossed 1000 times and head turns up 540 times. So they have got a doubt whether the coin is unbiased or whether the coin is biased. So they have given decide on the hypothesis that the coin is unbiased. We have to decide whether the hypothesis that the coin is unbiased is accepted or rejected. So as the hypothesis says here, if they don't give the hypothesis, we have to take here they are given. Let us suppose that the coin is unbiased. Let us suppose that the coin is unbiased. So P, probability of getting a head in one toss. You know, coin is tossed, probability of getting head or getting a tail is 0.5, that is half. So P plus Q is 1, Q is half. This Bernoulli distribution, you know that in that P plus Q, P and Q, P plus Q is 1. Now, expected number of heads in 1000 tosses. So expected number of heads, what? How many heads can be expected? Expected number of heads in 1000 tosses is NP. Remember this concept here. Expect, I have given in the notes, see, significance test of significance of proportions. Okay, expected number of heads in 1000 tosses NP equals 1000 into half, that is 500. Actual number of heads is he got 540. Expected is 500, actually got 540. So difference is taken as X minus NP, that is the formula. 540 minus 500 is 40. Now the Z value, assumption, to judge the assumption. X minus NP divided by square root of NPQ. So X minus NP is 40, divided by N is 1000, P is half, Q is half, so you get 2.53. So this 2.53 value, there is a standard value I have given in the notes, that is 2.58. If 2.53 is less than 2.58, then we can say that the assumption is accepted, that we say that the coin is unbiased. What you assumed is correct. But if you have got this value is greater than 2.58, then we say that assumption is wrong, is rejected. So now 2.53 we got, the standard value is 2.58 that I have given in the notes. See the previous session notes. So 2.53 less than 2.58. So we say that the coin is unbiased. Less than, remember this concept, 2.53, 2.58 is fixed. 2.53 less than 2.5, so we say that the coin, what we assumed is correct, hypothesis has to be accepted, we say that the coin is unbiased. Okay. Now, the result extracts revealed that in a certain school over a period of 5 years, again a question paper problem, result extracts revealed that in a certain school over a period of 5 years, 725 students had passed. Result extract showed that in a certain school over a period of 5 years, 725 students had passed and 615 students had failed. 725 students had passed and 615 students had failed. Okay, 615 students had passed and 615 students had failed. Test the hypothesis that success and failure are in equal proportion. See, the hypothesis is what? Success and failure are in equal proportions. Hypothesis. You have to check whether it is accepted or rejected. Is correct or wrong? Okay. Total number of students 725 plus 725 passed, 615 failed. So total number of students is 725 plus 615, 1340. Observed proportion of success. So past means success because it's a test of significance of proportions. Observed proportion of success 725 by total 1340, that is 0.554. Suppose that success and failure are in equal proportion. We assume the hypothesis given here. Test the hypothesis that success and failure are in equal proportions. So assume this. Suppose that success and failure are in equal proportions. Suppose that success and failure are in equal proportions, then P is equal to half. Okay. Because success and failure are in equal proportions. Pass means probability is half, fail means P is half. So difference in proportions will be 0.54. You got here 0.54. Proportion of success 0.54, but here you get 0.5. Actually it is equal, so 0.5. So difference 0.54 minus 0.5, that is 0.04. I hope you followed. Standard deviation of success, square root of NPQ by square root of by n. That will be root n. N can be written as root n, it get cancels, root PQ by n. Standard proportion of success is root PQ by n. So put P value 0.5, Q value 0.5, n is 1340. It is the totals here, total number of students. So 1340, that is 0.014 approximately. Just check it. So in terms of proportion, we find out the value of z. So in test of significance of proportion, to test the hypothesis, we use the value of z, and the formula here is x minus mu by sigma. So x minus mu means difference in proportion, that is 0.04 by standard deviation 0.014, that is 2.86. And 2.86, I told you, if it is standard values, we take 2.58, and 2.86 is greater than 2.58. I told you, if it is greater, it has to be rejected. If it is less than, as in the previous project, it has to be accepted. So here you got the value as 2.86. So we check it with 2.58, that is the standard value. 2.86 is greater than 2.58. Thus, the hypothesis that the success and failure are in equal proportion is rejected. Thus, the hypothesis that the success and failure are in equal proportion is rejected. So once again, I will just quickly, because very important problem. Same type of problem is there in a model question paper, same type. Result extracts revealed that in a certain school over a period of 5 years, 725 students had passed, 615 students had failed. Test the hypothesis that success and failure are in equal proportion. Hypothesis. Total number of students, that is n, 1340. Observed proportion of success, we are bothered about success. Or we can take failure, we took care success. Failure means you have to take 615. So 725 by 134 is 6.54. Now we take the assumption, test the hypothesis that success and failure are in equal proportion is the question. So suppose we take that, suppose that success and failure are in equal proportion. Then the probability is half, equal proportion, P is half, that is 0.5. So difference in proportions. Here the observed proportion is 0.54. Here the proportion is 0.5. So difference is 0.04. Now we want the standard proportion of success according to the test of significance of proportion. See the theory. That is square root of NPQ by n, standard deviation, proportion of success. So this can be written as, n can be written as root n into root n. So root n get cancels, square root of PQ by n, substitute all the values, 0.014. So standard proportion of success. So in terms of proportion, the z value, Test of significance of proportion, the z value is x minus mu by sigma. So x minus mu is the difference, 0.04, divided by sigma we got just now, 0.014, that you got 2.86. And this 2.86 you compare with the standard value, that is 2.58. 2.86 is bigger than 2.58. So if it is bigger, the hypothesis is rejected. That means what you assumed that success and failure are in equal proportion is wrong. Thus the hypothesis that success and failure are in equal proportion is rejected. That means the success and failure are not in equal proportion. This is the way to test the hypothesis. We will see some more problems, many more problems in the coming sessions. Okay, we'll solve many more problems in the coming sessions. So at the end of this session, I would like to just summarize. Today we solved problems continuing from the last session, and then we solved problem in test of significance of proportions. That is testing the hypothesis and taking the standard value z as 2.58 as in the theory. If it is less, it is accepted. If it is more, it is rejected. That. I hope it is you followed. Copy the notes as usually I tell you, and write the assignments what is given to you. Do it and be ready when you come to the college, and side by side write the notes and prepare for the exams whenever you get time. Okay. So I wind up the session. Thank you. All the best.